Shalom, the Lord bless you. Welcome to Purpose and Marital Bliss with Pastor Honorine. I have a prophetic word for someone. God says, your prodigal was a disappointment, but he can never leave you nor forsake you. God says, your prodigal was a disappointment, but he can never leave you nor forsake you. This word is coming to someone. When you needed your prodigal the most, they left you. When you needed them to stand by you the most, they were not there. But God says, you have been crying, you have been depressed. But instead, on the other hand, God says he has been with you all through. He has been by you all through. He has been the one encouraging you through the difficulties. God says you can trust him and put all your eggs in his basket and be rest assured that he will never leave you nor forsake you. He says when you go through the fire, he will be there with you. When you go through the water, he will be there with you. God says you can trust him 24/7. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He says nothing can separate you from his love. Nothing can separate you from his love. Not even poverty, not hardship, not even character flaws, not weaknesses. God says nothing can separate you from his love. He loved you even when you were yet a sinner. He loved you even when you were yet a sinner. God says nothing can separate you from his love. He is there for you in the good times. He is there with you in the bad times. He is there with you in the ugly times. God says you can trust in him. He will never disappoint you. Your prodigal disappointed you. They were not there when you needed them the most. They left you when you needed them the most. God says he will never leave you. The Bible tells us of a woman that is generally known as the woman with the issue of blood. This woman apparently had a family, had children, but when the going was tough, when the affliction came upon her, she was all alone. Despite the predicament, despite all that she was going through, we never heard about a family member that stood by her. We never heard about someone that was there with her. We never heard about her husband. We never heard about her children. But this woman just told herself, if only I can touch the hem of his garment, I will be made whole. And guess what? Jesus didn't even need to know that she touched him. Jesus didn't even need to know that she was there. But the moment she touched Jesus, she received her healing. And Jesus turned around and said, virtue left me. God says you might not feel his presence. You might not feel like he is with you. You might not feel like he's walking in you. He says, but the fact that he has said he is with you, he will not leave you nor forsake you, is the final decision he has made. He is there with you in that situation. Stop lamenting about those who left you. Focus on touching the master. If only you can touch the hem of his garment, you will be just fine. Man will always disappoint you. That's why the Bible says the arm of flesh will fail. The Bible says, cursed is a man that puts his trust in another. God says he loves you unconditionally. God bless you. Shalom.